Hi guys, my name is Dr. Sharnael Wolverton. I'm here tonight with Robert Tennyson Stevens, and I'm going to actually invite him on here real quick. Robert, are you here? Let me see him pop on here. I'm gonna give him just a second. Who else is with me here tonight? Show of hands. Robert. I'm going to invite. I see you.
Hey.
Awesome. So I will briefly introduce you, and I'm going to let you kind of take over from here. But is that cool? My name is Dr. Sharnael Wolverton. For those of you who are joining us here tonight, the topic for this next 30 minutes is about divine health and conscious language. We know that conscious language and your word choices and the vibration of your words actually have a very big effect on not only your cells but on your environment. And I learned this early on, and I met Bob, I guess it was August, not last year but the year before that, and he brought me to a whole new level of understanding about conscious language, not just regular words and culturally accepted things to say, but actually literal language and how it affects you. And I had listened to a couple of his teachings with Marcella von Harding, and I actually went to a meeting in the highest potential, which I know some of you have been to. And if you can get there, that's a great way to be introduced to some of his teachings. But also I want to plug his book, Conscious Language, which we're going to probably talk a little bit about, and then Body Language. And you will see links to this in the post where you can actually get the first 3 chapters of this free tonight by clicking the link here. And you can also find out more about his classes, which I've taken all of them except for one. And anyway, without further ado, my friend and my teacher and someone who's very dear to me just married me and my husband, Robert Tennyson Stevens. Thank you for being with us tonight. I know you're super busy.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, Dr. Sharnael. This is awesome.
Yeah.
This is my first time doing one of these split screen jobs. So, oh yeah, way cool. So it's interesting. I'm going to start with this one thing. Mark Shearer, one of our main team members here, is just moving up to North Carolina. We're creating a beautiful conference center, retreat center on our own property. My daughter and son-in-law are involved. Anyway, a lot of great things are happening. And Mark was sharing with me, he was sharing with some chiropractors in Houston. And I love reflection. I love when things come back to me in a particular way. And he was going, I'm going to paraphrase this because he was saying it off the cuff about what he shared with them, but he was saying something like conscious language. You'll absolutely have to have this. And when I heard that, I was true. It was absolutely, I mean, of course, I've been doing this for almost 50 years. 1968 is when I started. So, a year away from 50 years. And when I heard him say, it's a must, I'm thinking, well, that's really true. And I encourage people, I inspire people. I'm at the point now, and I know you are too, Sharnael, especially as we relate this to health, that the word becomes flesh. I talk about scripture, not as it relates to religion at all, or right, wrong at all, or division or divisiveness. What I'm talking about is, I believe scripture is literally quantum physics. And, decree a thing and it shall be established unto you. By your words you shall be justified. By your words you shall be condemned. Fascinating. Now that I'm in this as long as I have been, I really realize, and I've got a whole system for it. Marcella von Harding and I are writing a book together on this whole topic of how the word becomes flesh. And I have systems now, which you've seen, of course, big time, over and over and over again, of how I have found and systematized how actually the word does become flesh. And therefore, if someone has a quote unquote signal in their body, or a signal in their life, or their finances, or their relationships, I mean, it's all the same thing, whether it's physiological or experiential or relationship, whatever it may be. It is always, as we think in our heart, so are we. It is always that. And for me, and I know for us, the whole idea of ownership and awareness and putting our own rudder in the quote unquote water or the feeling world and directing our life like our tongue directs our being, the rudder of the ship directs the ship. This is all quote unquote the law book, so to speak. So I'm at the point now of, after hearing Mark, going, you know, it's time for every single human being to have the benefit of this upgrade. We upgrade our computers. I just upgraded a whole bunch of my computers one more time. And I mean, I'm thinking, well, I'm running any Windows, I have to go to Windows 7 because Windows 10, I still can't. It's still, I don't know how to use it. I went to Mac, but a whole bunch of my stuff has to run on Windows. So I went, all right, I'm getting all new old computers, meaning I'm running on Windows 7 because I know how to do that. And the conscious language, which is the language of our heart, is not something we can really learn. It's already operational in our heart. If it's okay with you, since we're going to relate this to language, can you share your story? I'm going to cry about. When you, in that class, when I saw in your eyes, will you tell that story? And then you just made a few statements and you were done. Yes? Will you share that story?
Yes, I was in a bio-optic class that I was taking a certification with Bob in Texas, and some of you know that I was in the middle of a health crisis myself, and during that time, and I was pretty much 16 hours a day to 24 hours a day doing everything from oils to juicing and hyperbaric chamber and IVs, yeah, name it, any natural thing. You could pop colonics and raindrop 2-3 times a week. I mean, it was scary time in my life. And when he actually looked into my eye in front of the class, and they put the eye up on the screen for everybody to see, because we were learning about how the eye can speak to what your consciousness is or what your belief system is. And in my eye, he actually saw 4 death wishes and brought it up to my attention. And I was a little bit PO'd a little bit, because he had said, like, well, I think you said, when did you choose to die? Cancel.
Yeah, when did you not want to be here? Yep.
Yeah. And I was like, if you only knew what I'm doing every day, being on all these machines and going to all these doctors and la, 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 then you wouldn't have accused me of something like that. But you have to understand, you have to understand that this is all an unconscious, subconscious, belief system that is kind of running in the background on top of everything that we're doing consciously. So he had me repeat for about 4 or 5 minutes, a few times, maybe less. It just seemed like that long. But he said, I choose for you to just repeat after me. I can and I am. I can and I am. And he'll probably, hopefully explain that. And so I did that. And at first it was kind of like, I can and I am. Not really, but sort of. And because I'm thinking, well, what's this going to do? And then he was like, now mean it. And I did. I got more. It came from a different place. It came from meaning it. And I just kept repeating it. And then next thing you know, like, tears are coming down, and I felt discomfort in some areas of my body where there were supposedly things going on, and documented things going on. And I had to excuse myself when I went to the bathroom, and tumors came out of my body. That's probably not compliant, but they came out, and I was a little bit freaked out and startled, and yet, like, I wasn't sure what was going on, to be honest. Like, I didn't know that was what was happening. I knew something was going on, and until I got it verified later. But when I had a little magnifying glass, and I immediately, after I got off the toilet, looked in my eye, and I could see that there was a change in my eye right away, where all of the places that he had shown me where the death wishes were, now there were like this little motion of a vein coming on each and every one of them. And I ran back out there and I was like, Robert, oh my God, all this stuff just came out of me. And look at my eye. It's, and he looked at it again. I'm like, what does this mean? And he said that they were healing hooks or shepherd's rods or something along the lines that he was like, oh, it's in reverse now. So you're in the healing process. So kind of a game changer. And I did, after that, went and saw 4 different doctors who all confirmed that I am completely healed. And I'm alive in here to talk about that now.
Oh,
thank you.
Yes. Woo-wee. So what you were dealing with, I'm not going to name names, but whenever if you can imagine a cell and words reflecting each other. So what I saw in your eye was, ooh, this is too much. I don't want to be here. That's what was there. And it can happen in, way back and still be functional, operational. And that's why I love the eyes so much. So when I saw it, I was like, oh, I'm not afraid of that. I just know that the pattern of the cell structure that was going on for you, through the physician situations that you were in, is the cell was running on the idea about the feeling of and the directive of I've got to, with the feeling of I can't. So what that means, it's a runaway compulsive cell growth, like a placenta type growth that's not being checked, so to speak, like by chymotrypsin or something like that. So just imagine each one of us, and I can do this across the board now. That's what I love this so much. And it's time for everybody to have it. So we've got a way to do that for everybody. But imagine the cells of our, decree a thing and it shall be established unto you. By your words you shall be justified, by your words you shall be condemned. A man, a woman who offendeth not in word, the same as a perfect person and able to bridle the whole body. Life and death is in the power of the tongue. In the beginning was the Word was with God, the Word was God, and the Word becomes flesh. So now, I've said this for 50 years. When I'm now to the point realizing that whatever else we do in our modalities of life, like there's all my mentors way back, I've been a master herbalist forever. And my mentors would say, they were all from Utah, so I finally figured out that meant they most likely were Mormon. That's not my particular path. And yet they were all really good. And they had to paraphrase something from their whatever belief or path that said, when a man is low in faith, feed him herbs. And I found that to be true. That for me is true. So this concept about languaging is really is my whole deal right now. It's really rich for me. That the people, like, there's this compliance thing where you can't say that this thing will heal that thing. Well, it doesn't heal that thing. Herbs don't heal. Nutrition doesn't heal. Now, here's what I mean by that. Faith doesn't even heal. So if herbs, let's say, or oils or whatever it is, enzymes, coenzymes, minerals, all that stuff, it doesn't heal. It raises frequency, or what my old herbalist would say, it restores faith. But faith doesn't heal. Even scripturally it says that faith doesn't heal. Faith without works is death. Faith with works is life. So walking in trust and faith is the only thing that heals. Now, when I did that little interaction with you, the cellular thing you were dealing with is I've got to and I can't. I've got to and I can't. That was the feeling structure of that cellular pattern. So I just simply came back and I said, Sharnael, say I can and I am. And you went, thanks for sharing. And then I can and I am. And I'm used to it. It's no big deal. Like the mind is going, whatever, talk to the hand. But I can and I am. And pretty soon your heart heard you. You meant, like you said, what you were saying. And pretty soon the feeling of your being with repetition, you felt the words until they actually activated, and that disintegration in your body had to come out. And it had to come out, boom. And that's my experience across the board, no matter what. And this could be relationships, it could be health, it could be career, it could be finances. Everything is, decree a thing and it shall be established unto us. So health, wealth, they're really the same thing. Health and wealth are the same thing. They're almost spelled the same. So come on now. And, if it's true that I say I've got, I have to, I must, I need to, I should, all of those are not wrong. They're just not I am that I am. I am that I am can't, it's hard to say that this way, but I am that I am can't. It's fascinating for me. And so like for me, I was, after hearing Mark talk about, you know, you got to have this. I mean, ultimately, not because I'm telling you you're wrong if you don't. It's just the life is here for us to wake up. So if somebody has a physical, let's say, symptom or signal, I like to call it, if we address or treat that signal, we're missing the point. We might still use, and I use all the things I know to use to lubricate or restore faith. But ultimately, faith is an action. And your decrees, by the way, were and are an action. You took an action. The statement of, you know, I can and I am. I can and I am. I can and I am. Like I can do all things through my anointed self, my Christ self, who strengthens me. I can is permission. I am is ownership. I can, I am, I will is the will to do it, not I will do it in the future. I can, I am, I will, I choose. And so there's these 7 beautiful steps. I can, I am, I will, I choose, I have, I love, I create, I enjoy, are the doorway all the way to this. It's actually the 8th step. I enjoy is the only way we can glorify our Creator. That's what we're here for. And many of us weren't taught over all these eons of time, however long we've been here, we weren't necessarily taught that we are nature. Everything is here for us to enjoy. And you know, if we're struggling, it's not wrong that we're struggling. I'm not doing any of that. It's just that we don't need to. I can live in law, or I can live in grace, so to speak. So much of what you've been with me about, and I know you're sharing with your folks, and the reason most likely you're doing what you're doing right now is there's answers out here. No one, I'll say it that way for now. No one needs to struggle anymore, because struggle is ineffective. And treating the signal without addressing the cause is kind of stupido. Meaning no matter, and this is not modality specific for me. It doesn't matter what modality somebody's believing in, do the modality you believe in, but also reverse the pattern. Scripturally, it says, let the weak man say, I am strong. Well, that's the totality of the law right there. And besides that, our greatest weakness shall be our greatest strength. Wow, how cool is that? I mean, so somebody's struggling with lack, they're here to be massively abundant. Someone struggling with creative energy challenge, which is what you had going on, you're here to be divinely creative, which is what you're doing now. And most likely been all about all your life. So what I love is when somebody comes to me and they go, oh, I've got XYZ going on, I look at what that turns into. The trajectory of the reaction actually leaves a very specific path of an action, what it flows out into. So finances, lack, that person isn't picking a goal big enough for what they're here for their God self. Communication challenges, relationship challenges, being alone. Even the word alone means all one. That's the spiritual test. If I can love being alone, I actually find I am all one. That's a door. Everyone gets to go through that door at some particular point. Your turn.
Yes, I agree with everything. And you guys, if you haven't been to an All For You, if you haven't listened to his CDs that he teaches with Marcella, you can actually go to our website too, or click any of these and find out where you can see him in person. Because I'm telling you, these videos and what he has to teach and what he's saying to you tonight is just like this much of what you actually get when you experience being in the room with other people who are all kind of experiencing these things. And the miracles that happen while you're there are just like every class. I've done 8 or 9 All For Yous. And every one of them are completely different because there's different people who are experiencing different things, and I'm at a different place than I was the last time. So I'm experiencing something brand new to where I had left off and or where I had built up to and upgraded. And so these classes, literally everything about my life, and those of you who've known me, has changed. My finances have changed. My love life has changed. My health has changed. My divine partner within me, like my ability, my conscious language, my entire family, our community, our teams, our ministry, our business, every single part of who I am, because we are one, has changed. And as you shift, you will see your family shift and your entire organization shift and your ministry shift, and all of those things will shift with you, because as you shift, you're affecting everybody. So this is crucial for us with every single word that we speak, to make sure that we're being very, Robert says, voice your choice. And that's something that's really stuck with me over, as I filter through what I'm saying. The first weekend that I was with him, Dana Kamak and I were together. I didn't talk a whole lot that night, because we were just in our room, you know, like, and I would start to say, I want to do this. And then he had taught, like, if you, you know, the Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. And if you quote, want something, then you're basically not going to get it, because want is a state of word purgatory. And so there were all these little catchphrases that I had said over time. And I thought I was pretty good. Not saying like death over anyone, or I know there's a lot of different cliche things that I'm not even going to even give examples of, that are pretty terrible, that I had done away with. But even down to I can't and I want, and, you know, things like that, that just needed a little fine tuning. And like you said, with that trajectory, if I'm on a mission to Hawaii and I'm off just a little bit, then that ship's going to go in a whole different direction. But when you are very concise, when I'm very concise with each and every word and what I choose as I outcome map, as I use awakened imagination, and as I speak those things that are not as though they are, that is where I saw the shift in my entire life, because I was actually speaking, and then that word existed and manifested, and those things took place, and I found myself in the middle of what I had spoken. And so it's pretty cool how we get to create our lives. We are created in God's image, and that is no joke. Like, he created the entire universe with his mouth, and we are here doing the same thing one way or another. And I challenge you and encourage you to use it in a positive, and to speak life, and to choose the things, like he says, voice your choice, and not say anything that you don't choose to happen. That's just my 2 cents.
Yeah. I still love hearing all this, just so you know. I really do. Whoever's speaking. By the way, I'm going to jump in real quick. I'm looking at our time. We are now, every one of my classes, I am training a group and opening it up to our planet. It's Mastery Systems Event Facilitator. So there's a lot of pieces of the puzzle, but they all fit together like perfect. And we are now creating event facilitators. So we work together in partnership. I basically am here's what's going to happen, but the event facilitator walks the person through the entire class, through the exercises and everything, so that it's a extraordinary mentoring program and partnership with each other. So that's starting right now, and December is our first time that we've offered. It's going to be here at our new property, and it's not new property, but it's a new retreat center for us. It's 3 gorgeous log homes. So. And I've been busy getting all the bedding and all that. Oh, my Lord. Anyway, so even carpet for the garage. Of course, this garage is like a 9-car garage. I call it the Garage Mahal that my son-in-law, his father built. My co-papa built this for his son-in-law, now my daughter. And now they live they live 1 mile away. So they built another one just like it. So we have this big, huge building that we're going to carpet and make for whatever the bigger events will be in there, and the smaller events in the big lodge. So anyway, come play. And here's Sharnael, this is just, I know we got time frame, but how, of all the things you've studied, how important are thoughts, words, and feelings to health?
Well, many of you guys know my history, and I probably have been to every person on the Elijah list for prayer and or some kind of teaching or theophostic, whatever. And I wasn't seeing the patterns that I had lived with and identified over the years shift, unfortunately, at the time. And so when I jumped in, just the first hour with Bob, just the first hour, my entire life started shifting. not only with releasing weight, but coming home and taking 4 truckloads full of just useless items out of my home and reorganizing everything. My wardrobe changed from wearing pretty much all black to color, which, I mean, again, I wasn't in this hour with him in the highest potential making a list of all the things, like these are going to be the things that change after I leave this class. Like what had happened is I came home and these things just started happening. I had different taste buds. I was watching different TV and listening to different music. My environmental friendships were kind of shifting. My family relationships were shifting. And I actually posted something on Facebook and had just said like, hey, this is my 3rd trip to go to donating another 14 garbage bags of clothes or this or that. And someone who was at the class was actually like, well, I'm doing that too. That's so weird. And someone else said, me too. And then I contacted them and I'm like, well, what else are you seeing? And we were all having the same side benefits of the inner work. And I realized more than ever, everything is an inside job. What I'm thinking, what I'm feeling, what I'm saying, what my imagination is focusing on is what we are creating. And we have so much more, quote, control, creation opportunities than we've ever been taught, or that at least I've ever been taught within the church or business world or anything that I've spent thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars over the last 20 something years and not seen a lick of change. And I see 1 hour with this guy and I'm telling you, not only has my finances, my entire pattern of relationships, whether family and or my current husband, who I'm back with, my high school sweetheart, who is my divine partner. And again, my health shifted, my friendships, you guys have the same opportunity. And it all begins with just a few things that you could tweak with your mind, with your mouth, with what you're seeing, with how you're spending your time. I really choose for you guys to jump into anything that he has, whether it's just reading the book or getting the CDs, attending some of these classes, because literally there's nothing else on the planet that's teaching this. I have not, if there is, I haven't experienced it. And I think I've been around for, 30 something years of just being in this kind of industry where people are choosing to find different patterns and to better themselves in different ways. And, you guys have that power. You could do it. It's awesome. It's fun.
That's it. Awesome, girl. I love this. This is awesome. By the way, hi, everybody. I've been doing my best to see who's on. So reading as we go. Come play.
Yes. Yeah. Check out the links that I have before here. Make sure if you guys have people who have not ever experienced Bob, this is a great group that you can invite people in and tag people and have them come just watch this to get a little bit of exposure. Go to the highest potential. Grab this link has 3 chapters of his book completely free. So there's nothing to lose here for you just to click that link and read 3 chapters and see if that's something that you choose to do. So going forward, check those things out. I love all of you guys so much. I appreciate you, Bob, for so many different reasons. And I thank you for your time tonight. And all of you guys, get your people in this group, get tagging and sharing and letting people know about how we can better our language and better our lives through our voice and our thoughts. And I hope this has been helpful for you guys. Let me know. I'd like to hear your feedback. We'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.